Fellow Africans, today we stand at a crossroads, a moment of truth, a moment that demands clarity, courage, and unity. Recently, the world watched as Burkina Faso took a bold and controversial step, a military coup that ousted the previous government. Whether we agree or disagree with coups as a method of change, one thing is certain: Burkina Faso acted out of frustration. Frustration with a system that has failed its people, a system that echoes colonialism wearing a democratic mask. And yet, our own Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and a key player in ECOWAS, stood quickly to condemn the action. Not out of deep concern for Burkina Faso's people, not because we want peace, but because of the interests we have tied to Western expectations, to France's vision of West Africa, not Africa's vision for itself. Let us ask the hard question. Why is France, a former colonial master, aligning with Nigeria to suppress the voice of Burkina Faso? Because France sees in Burkina Faso not a rebellion, but a threat to its control, to its access to resources, to its influence over African minds and policies. And instead of standing with our fellow Africans to build true independence, we align ourselves with those who once enslaved us. What does this mean for Africa? It means we are still trapped. Not by chains, but by debt, dependency, and division. It means African sovereignty remains a myth if we allow Europe and the West to dictate who should lead us, how we should govern, and what future we deserve. When we reject one of our own for daring to break the mold, and we welcome foreign powers to restore order, we are handing back the keys to our freedom. We are telling our youth that African solutions are not valid unless approved by the West. But this is bigger than Burkina Faso. This is about the future of Africa. If we continue on this path, we will never break free. We will forever be nations with flags, but not freedom. Presidents with titles, but not power. Elections without direction. And peace without justice. Nigeria must reflect. ECOWAS must reflect. If our unity is built on Western interest, it is not unity, it is bondage. We must find a new path. One where Africans can challenge systems, make mistakes, rise again, on our own terms. One where we support each other not based on what France or America wants, but based on what Africa needs. We must not let another generation live in the shadows of colonialism disguised as democracy. Africa must wake up. Wake up from the illusion that we are free just because we have flags, constitutions, and elections. Wake up from the delusion that foreign aid is generosity, when in reality, it is a leash, designed to keep us dependent, obedient, and silent. What we are witnessing today is not just a disagreement between nations. It is a reflection of Africa's internal war, a war between those who want true liberation and those who are too afraid to cut ties with the colonial umbilical cord. Let us not pretend. France is not here to help. They are here for uranium, gold, oil, and influence. They are here to maintain their grip over Francophone Africa, to keep their economy strong while ours remains fragile. They come with soft voices and firm hands, with development in one palm and domination in the other. And yet, our leaders, the very ones we elected to defend us, open the gates for them. Nigeria, the giant of Africa, should be the voice of the people. We should be leading the call for a new African order, not enforcing the old one. Instead of threatening Burkina Faso, Mali, or Niger with sanctions, we should be asking why so many of our nations feel the need to break away from ECOWAS in the first place. Could it be because ECOWAS no longer represents the will of the people? Could it be because ECOWAS has become a tool of foreign interest, a regional puppet of global puppeteers? We cannot keep pretending that peace without justice is peace. We cannot silence the cries of our brothers and sisters simply because their methods are uncomfortable. When young African soldiers take power, it may not always be ideal, but it is a cry for a new kind of leadership, one that serves the people, not Paris. Africa must wake up from the mental slavery. We must stop measuring our progress by how much the West applauds us. We must stop letting foreign embassies decide our future. We must stop sending our best minds abroad, only to receive Western-trained elites who come back and replicate foreign models that do not work for us. True independence is not just about who rules. It's about how we think, how we build, and who we serve. Until Africa stops looking outside for validation, we will never lead ourselves. Until we can sit at a table as equals, not beggars, we will never be respected. Until we can say no to France, no to exploitation, and yes to African unity, we will remain fractured, poor, and ashamed of our own power. So, what must we do? We must build our own narrative, where Africa is not a land of chaos, but of rising consciousness. We must support governments that reflect the will of their people, not just those that protect foreign investments. We must form new alliances, not with Europe, but among African nations who are ready to chart a new path. And above all, we must teach our children the truth, that Africa's destiny is not in Brussels, Washington, or Paris. It is here, in Lagos, in Ouagadougou, in Nairobi, in Accra. It is in the minds of the youth who are tired of the lies. It is in the hearts of the people who want to see a new Africa, an Africa that finally belongs to itself. Africa must wake up, or remain in chains forever. Yes, if we do not rise now, if we do not speak now, if we do not act now, our children will inherit the same shackles our ancestors fought to break. It is no longer a time for silence. All Africans must wake up, not just in words, but in spirit, not just in outrage, but in action. We must stand behind the nations that have dared to defy the old order, nations like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Chad, who have said enough, to foreign domination, who have said no more, to puppetry, who have looked the West in the eye and reclaimed their sovereignty. These nations are not rebels. They are pioneers of a new African dawn. They are not threats to peace. They are threats to control, and that is why the West fears them. France, America, and their allies are not concerned about democracy in Africa. If they were, they would have condemned the decades of corruption, poverty, and exploitation that happened under their watch. No. What they fear is losing access. Access to our land, our gold, our oil, our mines. So, when Burkina Faso kicks out French troops, when Mali shuts down foreign bases, when Niger refuses to be a slave to uranium extraction while its people remain in darkness, they are doing what all of us should have done long ago. They are freeing themselves. And they cannot do it alone. They need us. All of us. They need Nigerians, Ghanaians, Congolese, Kenyans, South Africans, Ethiopians. They need every African voice, every African soul, to say, "We stand with you. We will not let you fall." Because when the West takes down one African nation, it sends a message to the rest: stay in line, or suffer the same. But we must now send our own message. Africa will no longer bow. Africa will no longer be divided. Africa will no longer trade freedom for aid. We must now build our own system, just like China did. China was once humiliated by the West, looted, colonized in parts, told it could never rise without bowing to Western powers. But they refused. They built. They educated their own. They industrialized. They invested in themselves. Today, China is not only independent, it is respected. We too must follow that path, not by copying China's politics, but by embracing their principle, self-determination. Imagine an Africa where our resources power our own industries, where our soldiers protect our own borders, not as mercenaries for Western interests, where our leaders answer to our people, not to foreign embassies, where African languages, cultures, and systems are honored, not replaced with imported ideologies. We will never build this Africa if we keep fighting each other while guarding the gates of our colonizers. We must now form a new alliance, a Pan-African front of liberation, that supports every African country choosing freedom over fear. If Burkina Faso falls, we all fall. If Mali is isolated, we are all exposed. If Niger is punished, we all pay the price. But if we stand together, if we break the chains together, then we will rise, not just as countries but as a continent. The time is now. Let the world know, Africa is not a playground for Western powers. We are not children who need guardians. We are a proud, ancient people reclaiming what is ours. Our land, our voice, our future. Africa must wake up and never sleep again. To the courageous nations of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Chad, you are not alone. Though the media may silence your voices, though the Western powers may try to isolate you, though sanctions may be thrown at you like chains meant to force submission, know this: the youth of Africa is with you. From Lagos to Nairobi, from Accra to Addis Ababa, from Soweto to Cairo, we see you. We feel your pain. We understand your struggle. And we honor your courage. You have taken the first step that many only dreamed of. You have chosen dignity over fear. You have chosen your people over foreign interests. You have chosen the difficult road of self-determination, and we salute you. To Burkina Faso, your resilience shines like fire in the dark. You have stood firm in the face of decades of exploitation and said, "No more." The youth of Africa sees your boldness, not as rebellion, but as rebirth. To Mali, you have refused to let your destiny be decided in Paris. You have chosen to rebuild a country on your own terms, in your own image. And though the path is long and uncertain, you have already inspired a generation of young minds to believe that Africa can lead itself. To Niger, though they tried to shame you for protecting what is rightfully yours, we admire your defiance. You possess resources that light up Europe, while your people remain in darkness. You dared to break that injustice, and we stand with you in your fight to bring the light back home. To Chad, a nation often overlooked, you are part of this rising force, strong, rooted, and ready. You are the heart of this new Africa, and your solidarity with your neighbors is proof that the spirit of Pan-Africanism still lives. You are the spark, and we, the youth of Africa, are the wildfire. We are the sons and daughters of Nkrumah, Sankara, Lumumba, Machel, and Baiko. And just like you, we are tired of waiting for permission to be free. No longer will we be taught that begging for aid is strategy. No longer will we accept that our leaders must bow before Europe to be accepted. No longer will we let outsiders define what good governance looks like in Africa. You are writing a new chapter, and we, the youth, are ready to be the ink, the voice, and the revolution that spreads your story across this continent. We are creating music, films, protests, businesses, and technologies that will echo your message. We are sharing your courage in our classrooms, in our art, on our streets, and on our screens. We are waking up. We are rising up. And we are joining you. So when the West tries to punish you, let them see the youth of Africa standing behind you, shoulder to shoulder. When they call you extremists, we will call you visionaries. When they call you unstable, we will call you liberated. When they try to isolate you, we will amplify you. Because your freedom is our freedom. Your fight is our fight. Your future is our future. Do not back down. Do not be afraid. Do not walk alone. You carry the hopes of millions, not just in your borders, but across an entire continent yearning to be free. Africa is watching. And we are ready. Let the drums of freedom beat louder. Let the new Africa rise, proudly, unapologetically, and united. We are with you. We are behind you. And we will rise together. If you love freedom, as you love development, self-awareness, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. This is Daily Topics.